Dax Mercer never meant to be generous. He was just tired, broke, and bored enough to stir the pot. Fungus 9 reeked of old oil and alien fryer grease, and the local vendors were more judgmental than his last 3 exes combined. He wandered the trade docks chewing the last of a synthetic protein stick, mostly flavorless, but he liked the crunch. It sounded like he was accomplishing something. His cargo drop was delayed again due to a ritual urination holiday on Delta Quadrant 4. Whatever. He had nothing to do, nowhere to be, and just enough credits to maybe afford a warm seat and a recycled beer. Then he saw her. Crumpled between a power conduit and a rusted crate was something vaguely humanoid. Her cloak looked like it had survived a war and lost. Her head drooped, face hidden under a grimy hood. One of her feet, Talon maybe, twitched like it wasn't sure whether to live or give up. Nobody paid her attention. Typical. The vendors gave her the same look they gave him, another oxygen-breathing liability. She didn't beg. Just existed, quietly offensive to the atmosphere. He paused, checking his jacket. 1 ration bar left. It was flavored. Hot spiced fungus. Ironically apt for this dump. He peeled it open, took a whiff, and winced. With a glance at the alien and the gathered sneers from nearby stallkeepers, he smirked. Screw it. He crouched beside her and held it out. You look like crap. Here. Royal offering. Consider it a treaty between the unshowered and the unemployed. The cloaked figure stirred. Slowly. Cautiously. Her fingers, thin and clawed, reached out and accepted the bar like it was sacred. She sniffed it, blinked once, then looked up. The hood slipped back. Dax blinked. Then forgot how to. Her face didn't glow. It shimmered, like light bent around it. Skin smoother than polished chrome, eyes deep violet with rotating sigils inside, her cheekbones mathematically perfect. Lips full, soft, and very much not starving. The grime on her face began evaporating, no, dissolving. A golden aura pulsed from her skin in rhythm with her breathing. Her voice, when it came, was both silk and blade. You have offered sustenance freely. I accept your claim. He blinked again. My, what now? Her head bowed slightly. I am Renari of the Spiral Kin. Your act completes the bonding rite. By tradition, we are now consorted. Consorted? Dax repeated, brain buffering. Wait, like married? A sacred link. You have unveiled me. I unveil myself. She stood. Dirt fell away in sheets. The cloak slid off, revealing a lithe, curvaceous figure adorned in bioluminescent filigree, like living tattoos. Her bare feet didn't touch the ground, they hovered half an inch above it. Dax stood too, slowly. Okay. This is escalating. A nearby floating orb whirred, zooming in. Surveillance drone. Then another. A dozen. Then 100. Some media grade. Others official. Dax squinted at one as it flashed red and pinged. In the heart of the galaxy, a signal burst across encrypted channels. Genetic signature verified. Empress Renari, lost sovereign. Bonding rite initiated. Human male identified, Dax Mercer. Status, primary consort. Within 30 seconds, 10,000 news feeds exploded. Dax scratched his head. This is gonna ruin my reputation. You had one? Renari asked, arching a perfect brow. A group of robed aliens rushed over, bowing low. One pressed a crystalline medallion to Dax's chest and shrieked. All hail the flesh giver! The first feeder! Dax stepped back. Whoa, whoa. I'm not giving anybody flesh, alright? That was a bar. A dry, fungus-flavored bar. You offered sustenance, Renari said, stepping close. To royalty. Without knowing. Without demanding. That is sacred. I thought you were a wet towel. She blinked. I do not understand. Dax turned to run. He made it 6 feet before his boots left the ground. A tractor beam caught him mid-stride. The crowd of bowing weirdos parted as a hovercar the size of a house pulled up. It gleamed like starlight. Renari floated beside him, serene as ever. Where are we going? To your coronation. Coronation? I gave you a granola bar. Her eyes sparkled. And now the galaxy gives us its attention. You've started something, Dax Mercer. Prepare your loins. He gawked. You mean lions? Like courage? No, she said firmly. Your loins. As the hovercar shot upward, the crowd below cheered. Some threw flower-like objects. One threw underwear. Dax prayed it was clean. He didn't even have pants without holes. And now he was going to be televised across every civilized system as a man who made the Empress bloom, with a snack. He sighed. Next time I see a filthy stranger, I'm throwing the bar in the trash. You will not, Renari said, taking his hand. Because you are kind. And now you are claimed. Dax didn't reply. He was too busy counting how many ways this could go wrong. But also, just maybe, how many ways this might get weirdly better. Dax didn't expect a palace. He expected a cell, maybe a lab. But the ship they shoved him into had velvet floors, glowing wine fountains, and a throne that molded to his but like it had been waiting for him specifically. He never felt more uncomfortable in luxury. Renari lounged across from him in a gown made of nanolace that adjusted itself every time he tried not to look. Her hair glowed faintly, as if lit by moonlight and ego. 1,000 holodrones buzzed silently around her, catching her angles. And unfortunately, his. You are now property adjacent to the Empress. A spherical steward droned, hovering at his shoulder. Would you like to be shaved, scented, and scented again? I'm good with my current stink. Primitive bravado, charming. Tagging for archival. I don't consent to being tagged. Too late, Renari said, sipping from a chalice made of crystallized time wasps. You are now part of the historical record. They're calling you the Flesh Saint. I didn't even touch you. You fed me. On record. Intimately. Your generosity has triggered cultural awakenings across 3 minor civilizations. The Ixer have already outlawed poverty. I fed you a snack bar. Do you know what was in that? Mold. The real kind. Yes. Romantic. He slumped in the throne. This is a joke. A beautiful alien joke with high-definition boobs. Renari leaned in. Then let's keep laughing. You are now my consort. Not ceremonial. Literal. The public expects heat. Tension. Mating energy. You know. I haven't even dated in 3 years. You've been drafted. Spiritually and erotically. That a real law? It is now. You've gone viral in 12 languages. Someone wrote a ballad called The Man Who Unveiled Her Filth. It slaps. I need air. There is none. You're in orbit. And my chambers are sealed to prevent jealousy assassinations. Wait, what? 3 rival monarchs already tried to bomb us. Your face deflects missiles now. Dax groaned. This was not in the ration bar manual. You're upset. I understand. The bonding can be jarring. I bonded with a protein bar. Not royalty. You saw me at my filthiest and did not recoil. That is the spiral test. I have presented my lowest form, and you offered value. It is the opposite of seduction. The inverse of cosmetic culture. You passed. Is that a compliment or a spiritual lawsuit? It's foreplay. Spiritually. Before he could respond, the steward whirred back. Urgent message from Galactic Matrimonial Council. You've been scheduled for a joint appearance on Mate Talks Live. I don't do interviews. You do now, Renari said. Refusal will be seen as emotional impotence. What if I fake my death? They'll declare you a martyr. Even worse. 2 hours later, Dax found himself on a floating media barge orbiting the interstellar love channel. He wore a suit made of real stardust that itched like betrayal. Renari sat beside him like a queen made of Photoshop and sin. The host, a gender-fluid telepath named Vly, practically purred at the camera. Tonight, the human who touched a beggar and ended up touching the stars. Tell us, Dax, How did it feel to awaken the Empress from exile? I gave her a granola bar. Vly laughed. Modesty! How rare in a consort! We sense deep carnal potential. That's my face when I'm nervous. Arousal and fear are neurologically adjacent, Renari added helpfully. He's new to royal foreplay. I am not engaging in royal foreplay. You will, she said, smiling. Tonight. Vly turned to the feed. Galactic viewers, place your bets. Will the Empress claim her consort before the next cycle, or will he remain uneaten? I hate it here, Dax muttered. But the feed went wild. Thousands of viewers chimed in. Polls were launched. Fan art flooded the net. Someone rendered him shirtless, wielding a ration bar like a sword. Another showed Renari astride him like a throne, her hood falling away mid-gasp. It had 400,000 likes before he could blink. He grabbed Renari's arm the moment they were alone. I'm being fetishized by an entire species. Several. And one black hole cult. I didn't sign up for this. You fed royalty. They assumed you had the appetite. I have IBS. She tilted her head. We have implants for that. He groaned. This isn't a romance. This is a weird fever dream. Then sweat with pride. You are the everyman. The bottom who rose. Stop calling me that. The pleasure of the starving. The philanthro daddy. Stop naming me things. But it was too late. The press releases had gone out. The merchandise was in production. Someone sold plush toys shaped like ration bars with little crowns on top. And every single gossip rag in the quadrant had one name trending, Dax Mercer, the man who fed the Empress. He tried to hide. Locked himself in a golden lavatory. But the doorknob asked for his autograph. That night, Renari entered his chamber without knocking. She wore nothing but confidence and a grin. You're not going to let this go, are you? He asked. You saved me, she said. And now I'll save you. From mediocrity. I was happy being mediocre. Too late. You're legend now. And legends must perform. I need a drink. She handed him a bottle. The label read, Essence of Willingness. He took a sip. It tasted like possibility. Fine, he muttered. But no mating rituals. No weird ceremonies. Just pretend I'm interesting. She leaned in close. Oh, Dax. You have no idea how exotic it is to be average. He blinked. That feels like an insult and a kink. She kissed his cheek. It is. The first assassination attempt came disguised as a fruit basket. Dax bit into a pear that screamed and melted into acid mid-chew. He spit it into a golden vase, which promptly sprouted legs and ran off screaming. Renari barely glanced up from her scroll of suitor death threats. That's the third one this week, she muttered. They're getting lazy. I almost tongue-kissed napalm. You must develop resilience. Being my consort is not for the soft of palate. I was a cargo hauler. My greatest challenge used to be space mold. You are evolving. There is no going back. Can I at least go sideways? Into obscurity? Or just early retirement and a blanket? Too late. The galaxy thinks you awakened me with touch alone. They've outlawed gloves in 4 systems just in case it blocks future Messiah moments. He stared. You're kidding. I never kid. I only flirt aggressively with truth. And what exactly do they want us to do now? Mate. Inspire. I've never inspired anything but pity and mild nausea. Perfect. Authenticity sells. A holographic chime buzzed. Royal Council broadcast. Dax sighed and accepted the call. 12 faces stared at him, some with tentacles, others with crowns, all with suspicion. You, human, are now a symbol of universal compassion, croaked one with antennae styled like a judge's wig. Are you prepared to fulfill your sacred duty of consortship to her imperial regrowth? I fed a woman a snack bar, he said flatly. Heroic understatement. We approve. Another leaned in. The council has voted. You will accompany the Empress on the Compassionation tour across contested sectors. Your mere presence may seduce peace. Seduce? Symbolically. Too late, Renari whispered, her hand sliding across his thigh. I seduce literally. They were warped across 7 systems in 5 days. Each new world greeted them with a mix of fireworks, weeping citizens, and lingerie-shaped peace offerings. One desert tribe built a 10-story statue of Dax in his ration bar moment, with Renari at his feet, licking crumbs off his fingers. They got your chin wrong, she muttered. Yours is more submissively noble. Dax stared. Why do I look like I just moaned compassion mid-bite? It's your brand. Their ship overflowed with gifts, fans, and one sentient plant that declared Dax its pollen father. His inbox was full of proposals, many graphic, none legal. Meanwhile, tabloids speculated daily on their bonding progress. Day 12, Empress still unclothed, but has he penetrated her heart? Day 13, his ration bar, her forbidden bite. The galaxy's favorite couple strikes again. He snapped one morning mid-toast. Do you realize they made a toy of me with a moan button? I bought 3, Renari replied. 1 for the throne, 1 for the shower, and 1 for private use. I am not a sex icon. Your humility is what makes you so breedable. He gagged on toast. Renari flicked open a scroll. You've been nominated for the Intergalactic Humanitarian Seduction Award. That's not real. Everything is real if it has enough sponsors. Dax paced. I can't keep doing this. I was supposed to be hauling waste and sleeping alone. But now you're spreading hope. Lustful, noble hope. Can't we just fake a breakup? She looked at him, quiet for the first time. You would choose anonymity over me? He hesitated. I'd choose breathing room. Sanity. Maybe pants that don't ride up when I sit on thrones. She stood. I offered you royalty. You offered me chaos with great cheekbones. A pause. Then she reached for her hood, pulled it slowly over her radiant head. I can return to the dirt, she whispered. Back to the filth. Alone again. If that's what you want. His heart stuttered. No, don't. Too late. The glamour dimmed. Her glow flickered. She made herself small again. I will not force destiny, she said. But I thought you knew what you stirred. It wasn't just status. You fed me without knowing what I was. That was intimacy. That was dangerous. He swallowed. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't. You reminded me what want feels like when it's not demanded. Silence stretched between them. Finally, he stepped forward. I don't know how to do this. I'm awkward. I panic when people look at me too long. My abs are theoretical. My flirting sounds like tax advice. Perfect, she whispered. You're exactly the human I wanted. She reached for him, not with power, but vulnerability. And for once, Dax didn't flinch. Their fingers touched. Something in the room pulsed. A new feed notification popped up on the screen nearby. Breaking, Consort Dax and the Empress reconnect. Galactic ovulation rates spike in response. Can I at least wear normal clothes tomorrow? He muttered. No capes, she agreed. But maybe a collar. For diplomacy. Why do I feel like that's not symbolic? Oh, it never is. He sighed, but let her pull him close. Somewhere in the stars, 1,000 cameras turned on. And he didn't even care. Dax hadn't expected the Galactic Consort Championship to be televised. Or involve obstacle courses. Or be sponsored by a lingerie empire. The arena roared as he stumbled across a bridge made of friction gel, chased by a 3-eyed duke wielding scented oils and an inflatable marriage contract. I just wanted a quiet life, he screamed, flinging the duke into a vat of seductive pheromones labeled diplomatic deterrent. Renari watched from her Empress's box seat, legs crossed like a weapon of mass distraction. He learns quickly, she purred to her handmaiden. He dodged that contract with pelvic torque. Impressive. The final trial involved true serum, a kiss of intent, and surviving 10 seconds on the Passion Throne without declaring eternal loyalty. Dax made it to 9. My loyalty has flexible boundaries, he gasped. The judges erupted. Applause. Confetti. One fainting noble. He was declared the most reluctant yet virile consort in known space. The title came with a sash and handcuffs. Back on the royal ship, Dax found himself sitting in the Empress's quarters, hands still slightly sticky from alien champagne and ceremonial body glitter. Renari approached, her steps unhurried, her gown composed mostly of implication. You survived, she said, circling him. Technically. Spiritually, I've fled. You impressed the crowd. The way you screamed during the massage gauntlet? Iconic. I think I dislocated a moan. They believed it was arousal. You've started a movement. I think my hip is dislocated too. You'll heal. And become legend. He groaned. I'm exhausted, humiliated, slightly aroused, and I've been legally wed 6 times in the last 2 days. Only one counts. Mine. He looked up. You really don't want someone better? She touched his chin. Better is boring. You have what royalty lacks, surprise. I also have anxiety. And back sweat. And I snore when terrified. I've noticed. It's endearing. Please don't make that my title. Too late. It's trending. He covered his face. I can't keep being the galaxy's bumbling sex symbol. You can. And you will. But I'll let you rest. You've earned it. I've earned a vacation to a planet with 0 Wi-Fi and no legal contracts hidden in fruit. She nodded. Tomorrow we'll visit the Hush Worlds. No paparazzi. Just peace, private bathing moons, and maybe some optional naked rituals. He peeked through his fingers. Define optional. Flexible. Like your tongue. He nearly choked. What? How do you even? She grinned. You talk in your sleep. Oh no. Yes. Most enlightening dreams. One involved a ration bar and 7 duplicate empresses. That was a survival scenario. Sure it was. She sat beside him, finally quiet. Her fingers laced with his. Not commanding, just there. Steady. He whispered. I really did just try to help a stranger. And now the galaxy belongs to you. I don't want the galaxy. She leaned in. Then take me. Silence. Charged. Warm. A heartbeat in 0 gravity. He exhaled. Okay. But no thrones tonight. I want a real bed. Real food. And no glitter in places glitter should never be. No promises. But I'll try. Later, lying tangled in sheets spun from silkworm holes and ceremonial regrets, Dax stared at the ceiling. You know they'll come for me again. I'll burn them. They'll try to seduce me. I'll out-seduce them. They'll bribe me. I'll pay more. You're terrifying. I'm yours. He turned to her, messy, human, unsure. I still don't get why me. You gave me something no one else did. Not power. Not fear. Just a snack. And dignity. That's it. It was everything. In the hallway, a reporter was arrested trying to photograph their afterglow posture. A bodyguard fed the image into a disintegrator and winked. Inside, Dax smiled. He finally felt something new. He wasn't just a symbol. Or a mistake. Or a headline. He was chosen. And that, somehow, made all the noise worth it. Just as he drifted off to sleep, Renari whispered. By the way, there's a rebellion forming. They want you as their erotic figurehead. He groaned. I'll handle it tomorrow. Of course, my consort. Tomorrow. She kissed him. It felt like a revolution. And for once, he wasn't running from it. He was leading it. Accidentally? As usual.